The baggage carousel has stopped, everyone else has left, and you are still standing there, staring at an empty belt like your suitcase might suddenly feel guilty and come back. You ask the airline where it is. The answer is usually some version of, "We're tracing it," which sounds reassuring, until you realize they may not actually know where the bag is. But here is the strange part. Most lost luggage is not truly lost. It has been scanned, sorted, loaded, unloaded, and recorded by multiple systems. Somewhere along that journey, your suitcase simply stopped matching your itinerary. And if the airline never reconnects the two, your clothes, shoes, electronics, and deeply questionable vacation purchases can eventually enter an entirely different economy, where somebody else may buy them. So how does a suitcase disappear inside one of the most tracked environments on Earth? Who is responsible when it does? And what can the airline owe you while you are wearing the same shirt for the third day in a row? It starts with the tag wrapped around your bag at check-in. That little strip of paper is basically your suitcase's boarding pass. Its barcode links the bag to a destination, flight, passenger, and routing information. After you hand it over, the bag disappears into a system most passengers never see: conveyor belts, security screening, automated sorters, baggage rooms, carts, aircraft holds, transfer areas, and finally the arrival carousel. The airline industry has 4 core tracking moments: when the airline accepts the bag, when it is loaded onto the plane, when it changes custody during a transfer, and when it is returned to the passenger. In theory, that creates a neat digital trail. In reality, your bag is moving through a messy relay race involving airlines, airports, ground handling companies, machines, and people working against a departure clock. And the most dangerous moment is usually not the first flight, it is the connection. In 2025, transfers were responsible for 39% of mishandled baggage cases. Your suitcase may have only minutes to get off one aircraft, travel across an airport, pass through another sorting system, and reach a second plane. You can sprint through the terminal. Your suitcase cannot. It waits for somebody, or something, to move it. If the first flight is late, the gate changes, the barcode will not scan, the tag is damaged, or the bag is sent toward the wrong pier. You may make the connection while your luggage does not. That is why the word "lost" can be misleading. The industry calls these bags mishandled, a category that includes delayed, damaged, stolen, and genuinely lost luggage. The most recent global figures show how large that category is. In 2024, airlines mishandled about 6.3 bags for every 1,000 passengers, roughly 33.4 million bags. That sounds horrifying, but more than 66% of those cases recorded in the main tracing system were resolved within 48 hours. In other words, the typical missing bag is delayed, not gone forever. The bag may be sitting at your connecting airport. It may have been loaded onto the next flight. It may have arrived without its tracking record updating correctly. Or it may be circling a baggage room while the airline tries to match it to your report. When you report the missing bag, an employee creates a file describing the suitcase, your itinerary, your tag number, and where the bag should be delivered. Airlines commonly use a global tracing platform called WorldTracer to compare that report with bags found across the network. This is where your description matters. Black rolling suitcase describes half the carousel. A bright strap, unusual sticker, distinctive brand, or photo can make a bag much easier to identify when the tag is missing. And yes, a personal tracker can help. New integrations can let passengers share a tracker's location with participating airlines. But seeing your suitcase on a map does not mean you can walk into a secure baggage area and retrieve it yourself. The tracker can provide a powerful clue. The airline still controls the physical recovery process, and that can create an infuriating situation where your phone appears to know more than the person at the baggage desk. This is also why you should file a mishandled baggage report before leaving the airport whenever possible. Do not assume a phone call tomorrow will create the same paper trail. Keep the report number, bag tag receipt, boarding pass, and every relevant message. Because once your bag is delayed, the next fight may be about money. For U.S. domestic flights, airlines must compensate passengers for reasonable, verifiable, and actual incidental expenses caused by the delay, subject to liability limits. Think basic clothing, toiletries, and other necessities, not a luxury shopping spree because your socks went to Denver. The important word is reasonable. What makes sense depends on the circumstances. A business traveler missing formal clothing may have different needs from someone whose bag is scheduled to arrive later that evening. Keep every receipt, submit the expenses in writing, and do not let a vague employee comment like, "We only pay $50 a day," automatically end the conversation. The Department of Transportation has warned airlines against imposing arbitrary daily reimbursement limits below their actual liability obligations. There is another refund passengers often miss. Under current U.S. rules, if a checked bag becomes significantly delayed, the airline must refund the bag fee when the required report has been filed. For a domestic flight, significantly delayed generally means the bag was not delivered within 12 hours after arrival. For qualifying international trips involving a U.S. airport, the threshold is 15 hours for flights of 12 hours or less, and 30 hours for longer flights. That refund is for the fee you paid to check the bag. It is separate from reimbursement for reasonable expenses while the bag is missing. If the suitcase never returns, the claim changes again. Airlines commonly declare a bag officially lost somewhere between 5 and 14 days after the flight, although policies vary. For domestic U.S. travel, an airline may cap its liability for a lost, delayed, or damaged bag, but the current maximum permitted cap is $4,700 per passenger. That is a ceiling, not an automatic payout. The airline may ask you to list every item and prove what it was worth. Then it may apply depreciation. The expensive coat you bought 3 years ago may not be valued at its original price, even if replacing it today costs more. Airline contracts may also exclude certain valuables on domestic trips, including cash, fragile items, electronics, or jewelry. International rules can differ, and the Montreal Convention currently limits most covered baggage claims to 1,519 special drawing rights, about $2,175 US, depending on exchange rates. Translation: checking a suitcase is not the same as ensuring everything inside it. Medication, identification, keys, irreplaceable objects, and valuable electronics belong in your carry-on whenever possible. If losing an item would ruin more than the vacation, do not hand it to the conveyor belt. Now we reach the part everyone wants to know. What happens when the airline pays the claim but still has the suitcase? The search does not normally end after a weekend. According to unclaimed baggage, airlines spend roughly 3 months trying to reconnect truly orphaned bags with their owners. Fewer than 0.03% of checked bags reportedly reach that stage. Only then can the suitcase leave the recovery system and enter the resale system. Unclaimed Baggage, a company based in Scottsboro, Alabama, has purchasing agreements covering unclaimed items from domestic airlines and other transportation companies. The bags arrive without identifying information. Workers open them, sort the contents, and decide what can be resold, donated, recycled, or discarded. Clothing may be cleaned, electronics are tested, and personal data is erased before resale. Useful items can be donated. Things that cannot safely or responsibly be reused or recycled or thrown away. Then the rest appears in a giant retail store and online. Jackets, headphones, cameras, jewelry, shoes, tablets, and the strange personal collection of objects somebody once packed for a trip. It feels a little unsettling because it is. One traveler's miserable claim process becomes another shopper's treasure hunt. But the airline is not secretly selling your suitcase the morning after it misses your flight. The resale stage is the very end of a long process, after tracing efforts and, according to the reseller, after claims have been paid. Airport lost and found property is also a different system. A laptop forgotten at security, a phone left near the gate, and a checked suitcase lost in transit may be handled by different organizations with different deadlines. So if your property disappears, the location matters. Contact the airline for checked baggage, the airport for many terminal items, and the TSA for property left at a U.S. security checkpoint. You cannot eliminate the risk, but you can make the system work harder for you. Remove old routing stickers. Put your name and contact information inside the bag as well as outside. Photograph the suitcase and its contents before you leave. Choose a distinctive strap or tag. Save receipts for expensive items. Avoid extremely short connections when you have checked luggage. And check that the 3-letter airport code printed on the tag is actually your destination before the bag disappears down the belt. If the bag goes missing, report it immediately, ask for the file number, confirm the delivery address, document every conversation, save necessary expense receipts, and read the airline's deadlines for submitting a written claim. The baggage system works astonishingly well considering the billions of bags moving through it. But when it fails, the burden suddenly shifts toward you, to prove what disappeared, what it cost, and what the delay forced you to buy. Your suitcase did not simply vanish. It fell out of sync with your trip, moved into a tracing system, then into a claims process, and in the rarest cases, into a resale economy you were never supposed to see. So the next time an airline says your bag is being traced, remember, there is a barcode trail, a set of financial rules, and a deadline quietly moving in the background. The sooner you create your own paper trail, the harder it is for your rights to disappear along with your luggage. If you want more stories about the hidden systems quietly shaping what you buy, what you pay, and what happens when things go wrong, subscribe to Past the Fine Print.